my God. Dear God, what has Eve seen?
Sheridan! Something's wrong, Sheridan. I'll take care of it.
What has Alistair done? Oh my God, she looks terrible. What have you done to her?
I can assure you my patient is quite fine.
Fine? She looks like she's half dead, and why is she in restraints? What kind of psychotherapy have you been subjecting her to?
I hardly owe you an explanation, Dr. Russell. In case you've forgotten, I am head of psychiatry at this hospital. My methods are entirely appropriate, sound, and moreover, none of your business. Oh, and just for the record, I have not received one word of complaint from the patient's husband or her father.
She's so pale. Why is she unconscious? What the hell have you done to her this time, Ackland?
Nobody told me that her treatment involved restraints.
Well, Dr. Ackland, it looks like the patient's husband is not quite as on board with your dubious therapy methods as you claim.
Now do you believe me, Eve? This is why I had to get you down here tonight.
I want the patient transferred out of the psychiatric ward immediately.
I'm afraid that's impossible without consent of the next of kin.
Tell him, Antonio. Tell him you want Sheridan transferred out of here immediately so she doesn't have to undergo any more of this guy's treatments. Tell him, damn it. Antonio, if you love Sheridan half as much as you say you do, then get her out of this damn torture chamber.
Louise, you can go now. I'll take care of my wife.
Oh, and you've done a hell of a job of it so far, haven't you? I'm not leaving her here like this.
No, Mas, this is not the time nor the place for you two to argue.
Luis, your mother is right. Just step aside. Come on, step aside. At this point in time, Antonio is the only person who's responsible for Sheridan's care.
I'm not leaving Sheridan's side.
Luis, do it for Sheridan.
All right. I'm telling you, Antonio, you get Sheridan out of here. This isn't right.
Her condition is deplorable. When we get Sheridan out of the psychiatric department, I will oversee her care.
Well, who said she's leaving the psych ward? I mean, under whose authority did you propose such a move?
I've been her doctor for years.
Well, I hate to pull rank, Dr. Russell, but I'm also her physician, and you have no jurisdiction over my patients or their treatment programs. This woman was brought to me because she needs help finding her way back to reality.
And the people who love her can help her do that.
Would that it were that simple, Dr. Russell. The woman still believes that her dead child is alive. This is a severe delusion that we've been working on very intensively.
Huh. How? By practically killing her?
That I don't see the need for wild exaggeration from a professional, Dr. Russell. Are you trying to scare the family?
What kind of treatment have you been giving her?
Don't even ask him, all right? You just get her the hell out of here.
Doctor, she looks a hell of a lot worse than when I first admitted her.
That's true. And that's exactly why I didn't want any of you seeing her quite yet. I realized that to a layman's eyes, it could seem that your wife's condition is deteriorating.
I am hardly a layman, Dr. Ackland.
Which is exactly why you, of all people, should not make snap judgments without an entire picture of the situation, Dr. Russell. I implore you, please do not listen to your brother or Dr. Russell's overly emotional admonitions. Your wife's therapy is progressing very well.
Yeah, but this is just so hard to see.
Fair enough, but you can take my word for it. And please, I have to warn you, if her therapy is interrupted, as is being suggested, she could suffer a relapse, leaving her more confused than she was when she was brought in here.
So I don't buy that for a second.
Well, then, it's good that I'm the physician in charge of the case then, isn't it, Dr. Russell, rather than you. If your wife is taken from my care, she may never recover, much less realize that her baby is gone, or some of the other facts in her life, where she lives, who she is, even who she's married to.
All I want is for her to have some quiet time away from your brother so she can come to her senses on her own. Mark my words, when it's time for her release, it's you she'll come home to, not your disloyal, manipulative brother.
Sheridan will remain in Dr. Ackland's care.
Antonio?
What?
What the hell is wrong with you?
What's important here is not any of our feelings, but Sheridan's well-being. So if this is the best way for her to recover, then she will remain in Dr. Ackland's care.
Are you out of your mind? Look at her, Antonio. She looks half dead thanks to this so-called therapy that she's been getting. You say you love her.
I do love her with every cell in my body. And as her husband, I know what's best for my wife.
Now that's enough.
Antonio, I understand your conflict. But I am Sheridan's physician, and I have been so for a while. You know I only have her best interest at heart. I don't know what is going on with Dr. Ackland.
I'm treating a very sick patient is what is going on, Dr. Russell, and I resent your implications to the contrary.
I can only imagine how difficult this must be for you, Antonio. Finding out that your brother and Sheridan were in love and were planning to be married.
I don't care what anybody else thinks. I know Sheridan loves me just as much as she's ever loved anyone, including Luis.
And that may well be. But it's not that simple. In fact, that may be part of the reason why Sheridan's been so confused and so conflicted. I mean, just imagine what it feels like for her to be in love with two men at the same time. It must tear at her very soul. I can't envision anything more impossible or tragic, knowing that choosing one man will surely break the heart of the other. No wonder she became so drained and finally just gave up. She couldn't deal with the untenable situation for even one more day. You know, people who say that you can't love more than one person at a time are wrong. They're just wrong.
She's coming too. Thank goodness.
Antonio, please tell Dr. Ackland that you want this therapy stopped. Let me take her back into the hospital proper and oversee her care and monitor her closely myself.
Antonio's already made his decision, Dr. Russell.
It's not too late for him to change his mind. Antonio, listen to me. And nobody but you knows what your real motives are. But let me ask you a question. If Luis were not part of the mix, and if you weren't concerned about who Sheridan would choose when she regained consciousness, what would you do to help Sheridan then?
Antonio, if you're not going to listen to me, then listen to Dr. Russell.
Luis, let your brother make up his own mind.
Antonio, I honestly think it's the best thing for Sheridan.
All right, then just do it. Just take her to a regular hospital. I just want her to get well.
Thank you, Antonio.
You're doing the right thing.
Doing the right thing for Sheridan, not for you, Luis.
This is insane. This woman should not be removed from psychiatric care. I intend to file a complaint with the Medical Review Board.
You do that, Dr. Ackland. Because I intend to take photos of your patient in her present state. I'm sure the board will be more than interested to see them.
Mr. Lopez Fitzgerald, I implore you.
Forget about it. From now on, Sheridan is in Dr. Russell's care. How long has she been under?
Well, it's very hard for me to tell. She's been very heavily sedated, so I think it'll be a few hours, maybe even all through the night before she's totally conscious.
I'll be right here by her side.
So will I.
No, you won't.
Okay, let's not do this. And when Sheridan is awake, I intend to put an end to this unbearable situation.
How, Eve?
When Sheridan's awake, we will both be in her room, and I will ask her to make a choice between you. That way we can put an end to all the questions and all the tension that everybody has been suffering through, especially Sheridan. Are you both in agreement with that?
Yeah. I am her husband.
You know, a woman's heart is a very delicate thing. She often loves so much that she doesn't handle it very well. And then she just has to pray that she's making the right decision.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Sheridan doesn't need everyone crowding around her while we're trying to get her settled.
He's right. Everyone should just wait out here. I don't want Sheridan to feel overwhelmed.
What's she doing?
She's resting comfortably. But like I said, you know, she's probably not going to regain consciousness before tomorrow, so you might as well go home and get some sleep. You can come and see her later.
Well, I'm not leaving till I see her. Look, even if Sheridan isn't awake, she's just gonna feel better knowing that I'm there.
All right, well, just make it short, okay? Because your brother is going to be back in a minute.
Well, Antonio's just gonna have to accept the fact that as soon as Sheridan is awake, she's gonna pick me over him. And now I'm the one who's been sneaking in here to see her, the one who's been with her, and... Look, the point is that Sheridan and I are meant to be together. And the sooner Antonio accepts that, the sooner we can all get our lives back to normal.
Okay, Luis, just make it quick, okay? And don't argue with Antonio, please. I'm sure that Sheridan can sense it even under sedation.
Eve, can I go in too?
Of course, Pilar.
I promise you no one's ever gonna keep us apart again. That's right, I'm right here, Sheridan.
Luis, mijo, we've been here long enough. Antonio could come back any minute.
So what? Sheridan will want me here when she wakes up.
Luis, please, you will see her soon enough. Eve doesn't want you and Antonio fighting in front of her anymore.
All right. I'll leave, okay? But for Sheridan's sake, I don't give a damn about what Antonio thinks. He's got to get used to the fact that I'm not spending the rest of my life with Sheridan.
Come, hurry. Oh, God, it's too late. Luis, your brother's coming. Now you have to hide before he sees you in
Oh,
here.
come on, it's ridiculous. I'm not gonna act like I'm doing something wrong here.
Luis, if Antonio sees you in here, you know you are going to have an ugly confrontation. Por favor, Luis.
Dr. Russell asked me to have you sign these papers regarding your wife's transfer to this floor.
Sure.
Luis, let's go before he sees you in here.
All right, all right. I'm telling you, I don't like all this sneaking around. Where does he get off thinking his love for Sheridan's stronger than mine? Once she comes to, he's gonna have to face the facts that he's gonna be alone for good.
Please don't let my sons wind up hating each other.